Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about a crossbow that I'm trying to build and some of the things I've accomplished and maybe some things that I plan to accomplish. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Right here is the start of a crossbow. And this might look ghetto. That's, I think, a piece of hardwood flooring. It's because it is. But this crossbow is actually going to be, other than looking ghetto, a bit different than other crossbows because it's going to be powered by rubber bands and maybe even some springs. So let me show you some of its features. First of all, there's this groove my grandpa made for me for the crossbow bolts to go down in. This might need a bit more sanding. I think we're probably going to wax coat this. But yeah, there's this groove for the crossbow bolts to go into. And I don't have a ruler right now. And honestly, that'd be a little too much work right now, especially considering it's like 12 something in the morning. But to give you a perspective on how wide this is and what types of bolts it will accommodate, here's this piece of pipe, and of course you're probably thinking, well, why are you just showing us this pipe? That doesn't really give us like a perspective of how wide the groove is. Well, this groove is about as wide as this pipe. Like, it's wide enough to where this pipe fits pretty snugly in it. And this pipe will just barely fit over part of my pinky finger. So that'll give you some perspective of how wide that groove is. As for what will be the front of the crossbow, here it is. This also looks ghetto, but it's functional. So this is a piece of steel that runs through, I guess you could say, the stock of this crossbow. And this will be used to either attach the rubber bands directly or to attach some string or rope or some sort of cordage that the rubber bands will be attached to. And on the side here, these are like two metal pieces that will go onto the side that are going to be on the side to keep the string or rubber band from falling off the end of this. It's the same thing over here. And also this screw, it's not meant for this part of the crossbow. The only reason this screw is here is to, I guess, keep these two metal parts lined up with this hole I drilled, and to keep this nut on here because my grandpa has the bolt with him at his house, but I don't want to lose the nut, so I just put it on this screw, even though the screw's not made for the nut, and the nut is not made for the screw. Also, for this screw on the end of this crossbow, it doesn't really work as a screw anymore. Its main purpose is like a pin. There's a hole drilled in the center of this piece of steel that has the white paint on it. That's unfortunately flaking off. I can maybe deal with that later. or will deal with that later, hopefully. But anyways, this screw goes through the stock for a way, or goes into the stock for a ways, goes through this piece of steel that has the white paint on it and goes in here some. And with that and some JB weld, I hope to keep this part secure. And I'll probably use JB weld for a lot of other parts as well. Now moving on to what will probably be the pistol grip. Lights are flickering. Power might go out. Don't know what that's about. I think it's snowing outside. At least it was. I think it's still snowing outside. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But anyways, on to the pistol grip. Carved it out of what I think is birch wood. My dad helped me with that. Pretty smooth. I'll probably sand it some more. It looks longer than most pistol grips, and I think it is longer than most pistol grips. That's so that when I'm not using it, when I'm not grabbing it with 3 fingers down here before it gets to this ledge right here where I'm pointing with my thumb, when I'm not grabbing it with 3 fingers like this, I can grab it like this, like say if I'm just carrying it or something. And this feels like decently comfortable. No cracks in here, at least not yet. Fingers crossed. Definitely hope there's not cracks in here. That would not be fun if there were. And then here is the start of what I guess you could call the handguard. Like it's going to be below the crossbow stock, some form or fashion, so I can grab onto it. Obviously it needs some work. And then I'll probably I think I'm going to hollow this area out so I can grab onto it more comfortably. Wait, I forget if I said hollow or not. I'm a really specific type person, but I think it's important to mention I'm not going to hollow this area out. I'm just going to basically cut right here in a sort of weird U-ish shape. So then, yeah, they'll be, so I can grab onto it more comfortably, hopefully, and that and so that if I'm using if I'm hitting something with the stock, that it will be more comfortable. Hopefully I didn't just use the rear end of this as a demonstration of where the front end is. This is the front end. It's just, I think I messed up my illustration or whatever, because this obviously is the front end. But yeah, this is going to go right here-ish so that I can grab onto it. I think y'all get the idea. But if you have any questions, of course, let me know in the comments. I know this is pretty wordy. And here's some of the rubber bands I plan to use. These are mostly, if not completely, well, mostly from work. And no, I wasn't stealing them from work. These are just ones that were on asparagus that was being cut and they were going to be thrown away anyways, or they were being discarded, or I thought they were, but I did not steal them from work. I got them from work. But anyways, here's some of the rubber bands I plan to use. I would open these containers, but these are kind of jam-packed in here. The rubber bands are kind of jam-packed in here. I think there's also a few hair bands in here, because I think they're it's basically the same springy type principle. But there's a lot of rubber bands in here. Again, I would open these up, but they're jam-packed in here. It was a pain in the rear end to get these into these containers. I'll open this one up, though, because it's not jam-packed yet. Just rubber bands. These rubber bands, again, we get on the asparagus. They seem to be pretty high quality, in my opinion. We'll see how they hold up, though. Well, if you're still here, I'm glad you're sticking around this long. Now, the reason this looks ghetto, one, is because I don't feel like making it look not ghetto, because that'd just be wasted effort, in my opinion. But also, I have so far managed to complete this whole, or complete what I have on this thing for free. This I found at my work. It's hard to explain. No, I did not steal anything. It was being discarded, but this metal piece, right, or a couple of these metal pieces. This, I believe, this particular metal piece, I think, came off of like it's like one of those electrical outlet boxes type things. I don't know the terminology for it. This came off of an old, I think, a lantern that like stopped working. It came out of that, I think. This screw and nut just came out of. Oh, the light's flickering again. Huh. It just came out of like my garage somewhere. There's a spacer here. That's just a piece of a pie cutter that I modified and drilled a hole in. And these two screws came from, these two screws on the end right here came from my grandpa. And the bolt that's supposed to be in here, but that my grandpa will bring over sooner or later, is, I think, actually from Europe. I think. But anyways, that's the crossbow so far. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death. Hope you find this video interesting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all later.